there are stories that jump out at me, and I'm like, I would like to talk to that person. And, you know, when you're a quarterback in college football and you're 7-0 and your team's 11th ranked in the country, that's one thing. But when you're that quarterback at BYU, that's another. And if you're a Jewish kid doing it at BYU, well, then you had me at hello. And certainly I've never called a huddle the horror before, but this guy can. And he's joining us right here on the Rich Eisen Show. He's Jake Retzlaff of Brigham Young University. Good to see you, Jake. How are you?
Good to see you, too. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's fascinating to see that Star of David next to the Y right there, Jake. You know?
Yeah, it's something different, that's for sure. Something special.
How did you wind up at BYU, Jake?
I had a crazy route when it came to recruiting and stuff like that. At a high school was COVID, shut down all the recruiting. So I went junior college, ended up playing at 2 different junior colleges. And then it was after my second season, BYU offered, and it just looked too good to be true. It was Jaron Hall's getting drafted. Zach Wilson got drafted a couple years before.
Yeah.
So it was a spot to be a quarterback. And so it looked really, really appealing to a guy like me in junior college coming out and trying to compete at a high level. And the move to the Big 12 was also a huge deal. Sure.
And so was it you or Coach that brought up religion in this conversation? Did you say, hey, you realize I'm not Mormon, I'm Jewish? Did that ever come up in this conversation, Jake?
Yeah, it's something that in recruiting coaches know, like they know that's part of this university. And so it's something that's mentioned. And what school was like, my quarterback coach, who's an analyst here, Matt Mitchell, he's not a member of the church either. He's Christian. And so it was easy for him to talk to me about being of different faith, but at the same time, Christianity and being part of the church here is not too far off. There's definitely some big differences. But definitely being Jewish is a big difference than everybody else.
That's part of the reason why I wanted to, zoom in and have this conversation with you, Jake, because, again, football's football, right? And that's the beautiful part about this is there's a locker room that, it's about teamwork and it's about teammates and it's about finding commonality rather than anything else. And that's one of the many things I love about football. But this is definitely something unique, and I'm wondering how that hit you when you first got to Brigham Young and started meeting your teammates.
Yeah, when it came to the decision-making of why BYU and breaking down BYU, the religion was something that definitely had to be talked about, and it was something that we didn't exactly see as a huge negative because one thing's for certain is I'll be able to keep the main thing here at BYU. I'll be able to take care of business on the field and in the classroom, get a degree without so many distractions. That's what's awesome about BYU is limited distractions. We're all about football. We're keeping the main thing. And that's honestly one thing that makes us so good on the field. It's a competitive advantage to have such limited distractions and stuff like that here. So, yeah, I mean, it's different though. I mean, first coming here, you get a lot of questions, but it's also fun to ask those same questions back and get to learn a lot about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints here, more known as the Mormons. And it's a good time being here because everybody's super positive. When you're at a place like this that's so centered around faith, it was so easy for me to kind of grow in my faith. And so I got to become, more faithful in my religion and being Jewish, being here. It was easier for me to do that.
Well, and obviously, again, you're wearing the Star of David prominently, as you do always. You're not just doing it just for this interview. And plus, you guys, your teammates talk openly about it. Is it true your nickname is BYU Jew, Jake? Is that true? Is that really
100%. BYU Jew, that's me. Came up with it. I forget when exactly I came up with it. T-shirts.
I love it. You got the T-shirts going and everything. Uh-oh. I don't know. Is that a sign or anything that his Zoom just froze?
That's great. Not great.
No, it's not it. That's not a problem. That's kind of fun. Just in the middle of all that. Oh, my.
Went out on a high note there, though.
Gosh, well.
He's back.
Is he back?
Yeah.
You there?
No, he's not back. Oh,
he's not?
Sorry.
Okay. All right, hold on.
There he is.
You there, Jake?
There he is, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, you froze. I don't know if I bring up BYU and then all of a sudden your Zoom freezes. I don't know if that's a sign of anything going on, but so there's T-shirts and everything being made up? right now?
Yeah, t-shirts, everything being made up, getting just leaning on it, you know what I mean? It's super positive to me, and I think it's just awesome to bring two communities together that
Yes.
honestly don't have much business being together, except for centered around me and football. And so it's a cool deal. I'm super happy with it. I'm super proud of it. I love the outreach I get from Jewish communities worldwide. I mean, I've had outreach from people saying cheering you on from Israel. I've had outreach from all over the country, Canada. It's like it's truly become international. And the BYU brand is international because of the church. And so that's also a cool deal.
Do you talk about October 7th with your teammates at all, Jake?
Yeah, it was talked about. It was definitely, something that that was here and talked about a little bit. I mean, what was awesome is the support right away from coaches here. I was reached out by Coach Kalani and Coach Arod both, and my position coach. They reached out and said they were behind me. They were going to support me. Whatever I needed, they were going to be there to help me do whatever I had to do. And so something that's been tough, but kind of important, is to make sure I'm aware, but I'm not looking into the news while I'm here focusing on winning football games, because that stuff can really get in your head, and you see all the turmoil that it's causing and stuff like that. And so it's something that was acknowledged, which is important. But it's also not something that I've let overwhelm me and overtake what I'm doing here.
And in terms of Jake Retzlaff of a 7-0 BYU here on the Rich Eisen Show, do you have any contact with Steve Young, any of the BYU quarterback alumni base, as you're going through your business at all?
Yeah, it's cool, the connections we have here. Zach Wilson was at the game Friday night. Jaron Hall's around the building always. Those are the recents. Steve Young came up to me right before the Arizona game. It was kind of cool. He just appeared on the sideline right in front of me and said some good words of encouragement and stuff. And it was cool. He talked about me on the Big New Kickoff show. We had Fox here for that. And he's been awesome. I texted him a little bit, and he's great. He's sending me good words of encouragement, sending me advice. And it's somebody that I'll definitely try to lean on a little bit, because he obviously had so much success. And that man is super bright, super brilliant. I mean, graduating from the BYU Law School, as well as winning Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs and stuff like that. He's an impressive man. And so just being able to kind of like pick his brain a little bit has been awesome for me. Then on top of him, we have great still in the building, like Robbie Bosco works here at BYU and as part of the athletic department. And so it's fun to be able to talk to him around the building too.
And in terms of quarterbacks that you grew up idolizing, I'm going to take a shot here because I did see a quick snippet as you were on your chair, which I believe during your bar mitzvah, maybe during the Horus celebration of your bar mitzvah, Jake. Is that an Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey that you're wearing at that moment?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey, the Green Bay Packers hat, the whole deal. That was my bar mitzvah party. We had it sports themed,
Yes.
and it was just wear your favorite jersey, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Rodgers was my guy growing up. Right when he came in the league, end of the Favre era, he came out of Cal, and I just became a Packers fan looking at him because there was no Rams in LA and there was no LA Chargers yet. LA was kind of teamless for a little bit, and so I was looking elsewhere. And Green Bay looked fun. Watching Aaron Rodgers, I grew up trying to play like him and be like him a little bit. And so, yeah, Rodgers was my guy from day one.
And so is there any like part of your game that you have imitated him, modeled after him, that we can, next time we watch you again, we can pick out from that sort of thing? Jay?
Yeah, what I love about especially Rodgers at the beginning of his career is he moved so well and threw so well on the move and stuff like that. Like he was really good. He's not moving the same he was early in his career right now, but when he moved in his early career, he could pull the ball down, run it really effectively, but also scramble and make a play on the run. I mean, him and Stafford started the improvisation type stuff, and then Mahomes, of course, now is known most for it in this era. But I like to go back to the Stafford and Rodgers throwing off platform, being in awkward body positions and making accurate throws. That's something that I tried to learn early in my career and something that I'm trying to do, game after game here.
Well, I mean, you're going to UCF this weekend, Jake, and you've got a shot here at a playoff spot. I mean, are you thinking this openly right now? The rest of your teammates talking about this? This is real for you?
I mean, being undefeated this late in the season, of course, going to creep up in your mind. But that's the fun thing about it is you got to be able to stay focused and win game after game. Coach A-Rod here talks about it. Every week is a Super Bowl. We're on Super Bowl 8 right now, and we got to win this week. And we're going to a good football team down in UCF. I got to travel across the country. That's not always easy, and they're a good football team. So we're preparing for them, but definitely have our sights set to the future. But like I said, you got to stay focused on what we're doing right now. In order to win week after week, you got to be dialed in week after week.
And how's your family taking all this, Jake? You know, I mean, I had a Jewish mother who I once took to a football game. And when there was a roughing the kicker penalty, I had to explain to her that it's because you're not allowed to touch the kicker, at which point she would have said, "Oh, I would have allowed you to be a kicker," is what my Jewish mother said to me. Jake, you're laughing. So how did your Jewish mom take you wanting to play football, things of that nature? Jake?
Well, she married a football coach. So I don't know that she had much choice in the matter.
Okay.
Yeah, both coaches. My mom grew up in Brooklyn, New York, a Brooklyn Jew.
Same with my mom. Look at us, you and me. Okay, keep going. All right.
And was an athlete her whole life. Tennis player. Went to St. John's University on scholarship as a tennis player.
Okay.
Played overseas a bunch. Played in the Maccabee games.
That's great.
And then got recruited by the Jewish coach to come coach in Southern California, where she met my dad at the Claremont Colleges. They were both coaching there. And so when she met a football coach and married a football coach, I imagine she came to terms with the idea her kids would be playing football. And I bet she's happy in some ways that I'm a quarterback because I don't get touched as much as a lot of other people do.
It's true.
But sometimes when I get hit, I do get hit really hard. So, she's got to live with that. But it's fun. They've gotten used to it by now, of course. But it's more fun to see extended family that starts freaking out whenever I get hit and stuff like that. And,
is that what happens? Then you hear about it? Yeah, then you hear about it?
I hear about it, and they say they cringe and stuff like that. And I have an uncle who is a Navy SEAL and one of the toughest dudes on the planet. But every time I get hit, he like jumps and freaks out. I'm like, wow, I'm not doing anything like you did back in the day. But
Right.
But it's cool. The support from the family has been awesome. My parents love coming out to the games. I'll have a huge East Coast crowd at the Florida game because they're all New Yorkers with condos in Florida. And so they'll all be down there at that game. I'll have a big big cheering section in the family section for me. So it'll be awesome.
Jake, thrilled to get to meet you. I've been admiring what you've done so far from afar. And I appreciate your pride in wearing the Star of David like you do on around your neck and comporting yourself the way that you do. And I wish you good luck. And let's chat again shortly.
Let's do it. Appreciate you for having me on.
Does this mean we're a mishpucha now, Jake? Is that what that means right now?
It's good with me.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Jake. You take care of yourself.
You too.
That's Jake Retzlaff of BYU right here on the Rich Eisen Show as he heads off to Florida, where, as he, I do believe, made mention, will be surrounded by much more Jews than he normally is in the state of Florida. I can say these things.
You can.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.